Apart from the ongoing speculation from fans who love to obsess over a particularly jaw-dropping celebrity doppelganger, honestly, who doesn't though, Natalie Portman wants Millie Bobby Brown to know that she's her own magical person. Let's find out what else she had to add to this situation. First off, how did this internet drama even take off in the first place? All this talk about Brown and Portman looking alike first began to crop up in January, when a social media user tweeted side-by-side photos of the two actors with the accompanying caption, "I need answers." The tweet, which went viral almost immediately, catalyzed a fiery wave of excitement, as well as conspiracy theories from fans and news outlets alike, who seemed convinced Brown and Portman's supposed resemblance was more than just coincidence. And of course, they wanted answers too. Moving on, what was Natalie Portman's reaction to being called Millie's doppelganger? In an interview for MTV, Natalie Portman was asked about the recent hype that the internet had caused over her and Brown's striking resemblance. Portman offered a sweet play-by-play account of her and Brown's first meeting earlier this year, and said that she met Millie at the Golden Globes a few months ago. She came up to her and was like, "People keep telling me I look like the kid version of you," she said. Natalie was so flattered because she was absolutely adorable and so talented. After meeting Natalie, Millie also tweeted that this was a dream come true. So beautiful and talented. Portman made her thoughts about the comparison quite clear and said that although she's flattered, that certainly doesn't mean she wants Millie living under her shadow. With that being said, Portman made sure to remind Brown that while the look-alike buzz is cool, the young actor is already distinguished enough in her own right. Natalie continued on to share an important message with Brown. Still, she said that it was fun to play 11 on SNL. More than that, it was fun for the viewers to watch it. So what was Natalie's intent behind this? Contrary to those conspiracy theories that claim Brown must be a clone, is she though? Portman's comments confirm that her and Brown's surface-level similarities are just that. Similarities, not sameness. And that acknowledgement feels really critical in their particular situation, because in addition to stamping out any lingering suspicions as to whether the actors are somehow related, Portman's message defends Brown's autonomy, not only just as an acclaimed actor, but as a young woman making her mark on the industry. And given Hollywood's notorious ruthlessness, especially in its treatment of women, as the world has recently been made well aware, that's probably exactly the kind of assurance Brown needs to hear right now. Next, in other related news, is our little Miss Brown taking a break in Switzerland with her boyfriend Jake Bon Jovi? Yep, you heard that right. Being a global personality is not easy, especially when you have a personal life that demands attention along with your skyrocketing profession. The same goes for the Stranger Things supernova Millie Bobby Brown, whose career has reached its peak as of now for an 18-year-old. After the franchise's most intense and gut-wrenching season, the star gave herself a much-needed break with her love interest, Jake Bon Jovi. Millie and Jake have been together for years and have always had each other's back. Starting from being a nerd supporter to being the trip partner, Bon Jovi has been there for Millie always. The star took to Instagram to celebrate a relaxing break in nature. From the frames and comments, it was quite evident that the couple landed in Switzerland for a trip far from their busy schedule. The gram post from Millie's handle showed her in glee with high mountains and stretched greenery with her beau. Fans are gushing over her Instagram moments. The adorable couple went all mushy, with Bon Jovi kissing Brown's cheek as she smiled, with the same natural surroundings visible in the background. After a ridiculous lot of stardom and excessive promotional shoots, this came out as a refreshing break that the two sweethearts needed. Millie's joy and happiness had no limits. As the actress wrote, "Thank you, nature. Moments like this are unforgettable," with a heart in her caption. Millie Bobby Brown and Jake Bon Jovi have been dating for just about a year. In fact, they've become increasingly open about their relationship as Millie's handle is full of their date pictures. They made their red carpet debut at the BAFTA Awards this year. At the awards was Brown wearing an elegant black velvet and lace dress, and ever since, they both have been a smiling and loving couple in front of the cameras. Nevertheless, the star is back again as Stranger Things is about to get its final season anytime soon. Next up, why did Natalie Portman feel better than ever with her reimagined role in Thor: Love and Thunder? The Marvel Cinematic Universe has come a long way since its early days when Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow Widow was the sole female hero, and most other women with substantial screen time were relegated to love interests and damsels. Case in point, Jane Foster, played by Natalie Portman, who was first introduced in 2011's Thor and returned 2 years later for Thor: The Dark World. She's an accomplished astrophysicist and astronomer, but is best known for being Thor's ex-girlfriend. The director of the movie said that it was really important to us that we bring Jane back because people would ask what happened to her and where she'd gone. She no longer is the girlfriend on the sidelines, Thor's chick. She comes back as her own person, as a strong, powerful woman who is holding the hammer now and is actually a superhero herself. In the film, as in the Mighty Thor comic run, it's based on Foster assuming the power of Thor as she battles cancer and is deemed worthy by Mjolnir, the fragmented hammer the hero carried for 5 films before it was shattered in Thor Ragnarok. Portman says the opportunity to return and revamp the character was really exciting. To get to be a superhero at all is such a rare opportunity for an actor. Certainly, getting to be one as you're turning 40 is pretty much unheard of. It's not anything that she dreamed she would get to do. Chris Hemsworth said sharing Thor's mantle with Portman was an honor. He started this journey 11 years ago with Natalie, and to team up again now, both as the characters and themselves have evolved and changed so dramatically, was brilliant. Moving on, was Natalie Portman's suit in Thor a hit or miss? During shooting, Portman leaned on Hemsworth for advice on how to embody a superhero. He would help her figure out how to do certain things with a hammer. Oftentimes, you're not actually using anything. You're pretending you're catching a hammer in thin air. And so, he would demonstrate and help her figure out how to do that as an expert of 10 years. The first time she turned up on set as the character, everyone was blown away. Natalie embodied everything a hero should, but there was a vulnerability and a strength there that was personal to her. She wasn't mimicking anyone else's version. Natalie said that the costume is what made it sink in, that this was happening for real. She called Taika right away, telling her how grateful she was. Natalie's suit was relatively comfortable as far as superhero costumes go. Natalie said that it was quite easy to take on and off. I think that's the biggest deal, to have breaks, because it is quite heavy. Maze Rubio, our costume designer, was so considerate of having to actually wear it, so she thinks it was pretty much the most comfortable version. She did different versions with different cape lengths for different actions. Lastly, is Natalie Portman getting steroids for this role in Thor? The Oscar-winning actress Natalie Portman, in her upcoming role as Jane Foster in Thor: Love and Thunder, was asked for the first time in her career to bulk up. In the trailer, you can clearly see that she builds biceps and triceps, and it looks like she packed up a lot of muscle. Actors need to go through transformations like these because of the role's demands. She wasn't going to play a role in an action hero movie with a petite figure like she had for Black Swan. But is she taking steroids, or did she work hard and is getting newbie gains? Or are there any special camera effects involved? Well, a bit of everything, except the steroids part though. Natalie has always had a toned body. She trained for this role only for 4 months. Right off the bat, that isn't a lot of workout to go from skinny with hardly any muscles to looking jacked like a warrior. But it also has to be considered that Natalie, being a vegan, had to add in protein shakes in her diet along with lifting weights and training hard. But 4 months still aren't enough to build muscle. Although people are making a fuss about the situation on the internet by saying that she must be on steroids, that's definitely not the case. She trained hard all 4 months with her coach doing agility training and strength work. She never aimed to be bulky in the first place. Also, CGI. Why do people forget the fact that movie shots and trailers get edited immensely? Special camera angles and lighting help make the actor look very different from usual, and that's perfectly fine. What do you think about all of this? Let us know in the comments below.